We need to talk about the aphantasia thing also, because that's pretty important. Basically, you have officially 5 levels when I'm telling you to picture an apple in your head and what you can see. So that's how you know what type of aphantasia level you are. And most people, it's the 2, 3, and 4. You need to close your eyes. Yes, you need to close your eyes to know. So that's one of the ways. But right now, the example that people have is an apple, because whatever. Though I can tell you to picture like a glass of water. I can tell you to picture your phone. Your phone is really important because there is a ton of people that are looking at their phone on the daily, and then you say, put your phone on the table, close your eyes, picture your phone in your head. What do you see? And they don't see shit, even though it was in their hands a second ago. So that's one of the things. The second thing is, if you have the ability to be in like the 1 or 2 level of things, picture a cube, like a perfect cube. And the goal is to extend one side. So now it's a rectangle, like a brick. And then you extend another side. So it's more of a square, but flat. And now you take a hole in the center and you rotate your cube 90 degrees. What do you see? And now the goal is to draw that on a piece of paper, just from what you have in your brain. Most people can't do that. Like, it's really hard to navigate the 3D environment in your head and then retranscribe what they see in real time. For example, for the thing that I just said, let me just take a second and do that. You start with your first cube in your head, and then you extend one side, then you extend another side so that it's flat. And then from there, you get the same thing with a hole in the center, and then you turn it 90 degrees. And so that exercise, playing with the thing, usually 1 or 2, 1 for sure, 2 potential. And if you can't do shit, you probably in 4, you have a vague idea of a cube. And then if I said like it's a flat cube, it's not a cube anymore, but if it's a square which is extended with a hole in the center, you might see that because you just take the last section, but that means that you are around 3 or 4. And if you can't see shit and it's just black, then it's just fine. You have also this one that is overly overused. You have a photograph of an apple right here to just to show you what you should see. The thing with that is, when you see this image all the time, you just think that the only apple that you can see is a red apple-ish, and that's about it. Whereas, depends. I have varieties in my head. Do you see something in your head or not? That's about it. If you close your eyes and you just think about an apple, what do you see? Do you see something? Do you see nothing? If you see nothing, then you don't visualize it. If you see something, it's a rough shape, then you visualize and you like a 3. If it's an abstract thing, it looks like an apple, but it's not really visible or understandable, then you're like a 2. If you see nothing and you just have the word apple, but you don't see the word apple, it's just what your brain is doing, it's your 1. You can't visualize, and it's fine. There is no issues with being in one side or the other. It's just on the designer spectrum, the people that have the ability to see things in their head will have a huge advantage. So you're probably a 1, as you said. If you can't visualize the physicality of something, like, you can't visualize it. That's about it. Can you imagine the remote in your head, your hand, without having it in your hand? Is that an option? If it's an option, then you have visualization powers. If not, you don't. And that's one of my advantages, which is because I can see shit so, like, not even on the 1, I'm probably at 0 compared to most people. I can play with tools in my head. I can play with Figma in my head. I can change settings, change stuff, move things around, do an entire illustration in Figma in my head, see where it has issues, like visually see in my head when there will be like a kink in the curve and all of that. And then when I'm going inside of Figma to do the same thing, it's fine. Being able to play with tools, to read a book in your head, to reread a contract, all of that. These are options that are pretty useful, and sometimes it's associated with photographic memory, which is true. That's a thing that exists. I don't really have a photographic memory. I have weird ass memory that it's a 3D memory. And so that's a way that you can know if you have good visualization or not good visualization. It's really that simple.